You read that right. There is a sell signal that I have used and I'm seeing coming up in the altcoin charts that I'm going to show you today on how I'm planning to exit my altcoin positions and what I'm going to do with those gains. Now, most traders in altcoins are going to unfortunately miss this. This is why you need to pay attention to this video. I'm going to show you exactly how I've used the same sell signal over multiple cycles to get me out of the way of major downturns that come to altcoins after a euphoric peak. And a lot of people are asking themselves, is that euphoric peak in the room with us, Drew? We see nasty headlines just like this one. Why Bitcoin is dropping, billionaire crypto whales placing $250 million bets that Bitcoin's about to fall off of the edge of a cliff. Thankfully, McDonald's has opened up hiring for crypto bros in a bid to lend a helping hand down. But unfortunately, right now for crypto and altcoin holders especially, the sentiment is this. The pain is real, the losses are there, and they're looking for that escape pump. Now, when I look at the general formation of this bull market, I say it is not done, folks. Bitcoin has embarked on an institutional walk up the stairs to the gateways of financial heaven. And I think that we have plenty of room to party in this current bull market, but a lot of metrics are different. The 4-year cycle has multiple major statistical points that have shown me over the course of the last year that this time truly has changed. One of the main points that I see change was that the Federal Reserve and the Board of Governors are literally having conversations with some of the top altcoins in the industry, and whales are taking notice. This data from Look On Chain paints the picture perfectly. This whale withdrew 62,000 Chainlink worth $1 million from VOKX just about 5 hours ago, accumulating over 1.1 million Link over the past 5 months. You toss in corporate treasuries, buying Chainlink, planning to buy Avalanche, and a bunch of other top crypto projects out there. The stage is set for something we have never seen before in crypto. But what goes up must come down. And something that is currently down right now that we must take note of is indeed the altcoins under the top 10. This chart is scaring the bejesus out of most of the deep altcoin holders right now, with a fall in the last liquidation event, bringing them down to levels we haven't seen since 2019. Now, if you notice on this chart, it's a series of new highs being created over market and market again. It's a series of higher highs being created each single bull market, but this latest washout has people questioning their reality. But if we zoom into the actual data underlying here, you can see that the MACD on the monthly is ready to cross. The sell-off waves are getting weaker and weaker, and this chart is ready to cause some, and this chart is ready to turn a ton of altcoin psychos that are holding their bags into the end of this year into absolute millionaires. But how do we know when it's time to get out? That's the main thing that people are going to be looking for as that pump comes back. Now I have a simple goal when it comes to holding altcoins. The goal for holding altcoins into a bull market is to gain against Bitcoin, to earn more Bitcoin for the altcoin than I would have vice versa. And the season for this comes in waves. Even within the 2024 timeframe, here on Avalanche to BTC, you can very clearly see that there was a sell signal that popped up right as 2024 kicked off. Avalanche to Bitcoin chart on the weekly paints the picture perfectly, where we gained against Bitcoin over the course of a few months by over 246%. Now, I indeed did use this signal. I bought Avalanche for $10 in September of 2023 and G'd it for $52 a piece at the top end of this range. But I continue to assume that most of these altcoins are going to trend to zero against Bitcoin in the long term. So where we're at right now, it is a horrible time to be capitulating Avalanche. It's sitting at extreme lows, literally lows that we haven't seen since January of 2021. And I am of the opinion that this chart is about to reverse. Now, it may take a few months and getting into 2026 for us to see that full signal play out, and could very well end up playing out to something like this. We have a swoop down to intense, extreme lows and fear, and then a jackknife to the sky as people realize that liquidity is back, we are so back, and it is not over. So I use these signals in terms of my altcoin bags to know when it's time to get out of the way of a big pullback. And yes, you're going to feel like a fool when you're selling your altcoins at the peaks of these pairing charts. Everyone's going to tell you that it's going to keep going to the moon. But you must remain based and focus on the goal here. The goal in crypto is to gain as much Bitcoin as possible before it hits $1 million a piece. We are seeing industry leaders like the likes of Sergey Nazarov explaining the future of finance to the literal Federal Reserve right now, and weak hands are selling. Absolutely pathetic.
Across the industry broadly, ISO 20022 is really important because, as we've talked about today, it's about setting standards. And that's why ISO is so important. And we've leaned in so heavily. We've tested with clients. We've worked with Swift. We do a lot of speaking on it. So it's really important to continue to control and really go out into the market and think about standards. And then, there's lots of folks in the industry thinking about it. I know CHIPS and Fed are also exploring, expanded settlement windows. So all of these things work together to make the traditional infrastructure more efficient.
If what you're seeing right now makes you bearish on altcoins that are plugged into the next iteration of what we know as money, I have no way to convince you otherwise. There is fear in the markets. You can acknowledge that fear, but really there is so much more to come for crypto than what we've seen so far. And when it comes to the time frame where we do get to that euphoric peak, I implore you, whatever altcoin it is that you're holding that is a big portion of your portfolio, pay attention to the altcoin pairing to Bitcoin charts, just like this example of Avalanche to Bitcoin. I love Avalanche. I think that they have a great chance of being a big part of what we know as smart contracts and aggressive layer ones. If I see this time frame rise up once again for my main altcoin bags, be it Link to BTC, AVAX to BTC, Morpho to BTC, you bet your buns I'm going to jeet it. And I'm going to stash that Bitcoin away for my kids and my family's financial future because Bitcoin is coded. This system is capitulating into the infrastructure that's been built in crypto, and now banks are having to figure out how they can coexist. We've won the war. Now, can you reap the rewards? Stay locked in over the next few months. I know things are going to get crazy with holidays, but make sure to stay up to date with all of our videos because I'm going to be uploading that time frame when I do indeed sell. And for that Bitcoin you're grabbing, make sure that you're keeping it in cold storage.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.